Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a technology that seriously sounds like it was pulled from a sci fi movie, but it's happening all around us, right now 3D printing. So let's dive in because we're about to see how a new world is being built, one layer at a time.
Really think about that for a second. What if instead of printing a piece of paper, your printer could create a solid, physical object, something you could actually pick up and hold in your hand? It sounds a little bit like magic, doesn't it? But this is the reality we're unpacking today.
And look, we're not just talking about little plastic trinkets here. We're talking about things that can genuinely change a person's life. Things like a prosthetic hand, perfectly customized to fit its user, created not in months, but in just a matter of hours. But why stop there? Let's scale this up, like way up. Imagine a giant printer squeezing out layers of concrete to build the walls of an actual house. This isn't some far off concept. This is literally happening right now. Okay, and now for the part that is just completely mind blowing. Forget plastic or concrete. What if the printing material was living cells to create human tissue and maybe one day entire organs that are ready for transplant? Yeah, this isn't just a new tool. This is a whole new frontier. So that potential is just incredible, right? But how? How does a machine literally print a solid object, seemingly out of thin air? Let's dial it back a bit and get grounded in what this technology really is. The fancy official name is additive manufacturing, and honestly, that name tells you everything you need to know. See, for centuries, we've made things by subtracting. Carving wood, cutting stone. You start with a big block of something and just chip away everything you don't want. 3D printing completely flips that on its head. It adds material, building an object up from nothing, one incredibly thin layer at a time.
So, how do we actually go from a digital idea, a file on a computer, to a real physical thing you can hold? Well, the process itself is actually pretty straightforward when you break it down. It's really a three-step dance. First, you need a blueprint. That's your 3D model on a computer. Then, special software takes that model and digitally slices it into hundreds or even thousands of super thin horizontal layers. And finally, you just hit print. The machine reads that sliced file and just starts building, layer by painstaking layer, until a physical object emerges right from that digital plan. Now, if a normal printer uses ink, what's the ink for a 3D printer? Well, this is where it gets really fun, because the answer is almost anything you can imagine. And that versatility is its true superpower. You've got the stuff you'd probably expect, right? Versatile plastics, super strong metals. We've already talked about concrete for construction, and you can even print with food ingredients to make these incredible culinary creations. But the list of materials is expanding in ways that are just hard to wrap your head around. And this is where we jump right back into the revolutionary, yes, living cells. Scientists are now using these highly specialized bioprinters that use a kind of bio-ink made from actual living cells. The printer head carefully deposits these cells layer by layer, building a biological structure. This is the groundwork for someday creating functional human tissue. It's just wow. Okay, the technology is amazing, the materials are mind-bending, but what's it actually doing for us, right now, in the real world? Let's take a look at the impact it's already having every single day. This is where you really see what a game changer this is. Just look at the difference when you put it side by side with old school manufacturing. Customization, traditionally, it's a huge, expensive headache. With 3D printing, you just change the digital file. It's simple. And speed, we're talking about shrinking project timelines from months down to days, or sometimes even hours. And the waste, it's a no-brainer. Instead of carving away 90% of a block of metal, you use only what you need. It's smarter, faster, and way more efficient. And in medicine, that efficiency isn't just an improvement. It's completely life-changing. We're talking custom prosthetics that fit perfectly, dental implants modeled from a patient's own jaw, and even surgical guides printed for one specific, tricky operation to make it safer for that one person. This is what personalized medicine really looks like. In the industrial world, the impact is just as huge. A factory can print a critical spare part right there on site, instead of waiting weeks for it to be shipped. An engineer can dream up a new part in the morning and be holding a physical prototype of it that very afternoon. It just collapses the distance between an idea and a real object. So, when you put all these pieces together, the speed, the materials, the insane level of customization, it's pretty obvious this isn't just another cool gadget.
This is a full-on revolution in how we create things.
So this is the big idea, the main takeaway right here. For over 100 years, industry has been all about one thing: mass production, making millions of identical items on an assembly line. 3D printing introduces a totally new model: mass personalization. The ability to create a unique item for every single person, just as efficiently as making a million of the same thing. That's a fundamental shift in how our economy works.
And this really changes everything. It means we're moving away from these giant centralized factories to local, on-demand production. Think about it. A spare part for a machine doesn't have to cross an ocean anymore. The digital file for it can be sent instantly, and the part can be printed right where it's needed. This completely upends global supply chains and empowers a whole new generation of creators.
So as this incredible power to create moves from the factory floor to our desktops and our communities, it leaves us with this amazing question. When you can make exactly what you need right where you need it, forget a fun gadget. If you could print one thing to solve a problem, for you or for your whole community, what would you choose to create first?